first on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Live starts now.
Welcome into Fox 10 Live. Happy Friday. We've officially made it to the weekend. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell, joined by Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith. Jason, I know the cold's really the main story for this weekend.
That's the big story, you know, and anytime there's any possibility of any wintry weather, it's kind of the talk of the town, but this is a real low probability type scenario.
Okay, good to know.
So, yeah, we're not thinking we're going to get anything like we saw last year.
A little sad, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we would love some kind of historic event, but it looks like we're just going to see mainly cold rain, may get a few flakes. Here's what we're tracking with our headlines. It's going to be cool this evening. We've had temperatures in the 60s today, a wonderful day. We will get a few showers into the forecast area tonight, and then the cold air is going to return, and that gradually comes in tomorrow. We've got a series of fronts coming through, and it looks like mainly cold rain, but a few flakes are possible, especially over the eastern side of the forecast area. We'll break all that down in a minute. First of all, let's set the stage. It's 61 degrees outside right now, so it's going to be warm, and ahead of any event, we're talking really warm ground temperatures well above freezing, that type of thing. Over the next 10 hours, we will see the numbers drop a little tonight, but we're going to level off in the 50s with our lows in many spots tonight, with an increase in cloud cover. And interestingly enough, we may see a few showers in the area by early tomorrow morning. This is the high-res futurecast, and it's showing some morning shower activity. There should be a gap. This will move to the east, and then in the afternoon, we may get some more rain today, and this is new in the forecast. We're adding in some showers as a possibility during the day on Saturday, and we're putting that chance at about 30%, so some light rain may fall. Then as we get into the overnight hours Saturday night, some of the models have suggested early Sunday morning that some of the precipitation may mix with a few snowflakes. The high-res model is showing nothing. But if we look at the European model, it's actually showing trace amounts. I'm talking less than 1/10 of an inch. Very, very little could fall in places like Baldwin County and the Panhandle, and Mobile is not included in that on the European model. We're definitely thinking that anything happens, it's going to be more off to the east, and it's a very, very low chance that anything sticks, because if we look at the temperatures on Sunday morning, a lot of the places that may see some flakes may see that happening with temperatures that are actually above freezing at the surface. We have morning lows at 33 in Pensacola and Milton, so this may be, and it's likely going to be, a low impact type deal, but it is possible that we do get some snowflakes mixed in with the rain for a brief period of time. A lot of it will be when people are sleeping late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. So looking ahead in the forecast, we do have a series of fronts, and we've got some cold mornings even into next week. It should be late next week before temperatures moderate. So we're on the verge of more cold weather in the area, and we're going to break all this down, look at some models, and check out your 7-day forecast. That's coming up. Ashlyn?
All right, Jason, thank you. Bottom line, it is going to be a cold weekend, like Jason said, and if you need shelter from the temperatures, there are some options available locally. In Baldwin County, St. Paul's Episcopal Church on North Pine Street in Foley will open as a warming shelter tomorrow afternoon starting at 3. It'll close at 10 on Sunday morning, and we're told if temperatures remain at or below freezing, the center will stay open until conditions improve. Cots will be provided. Just make sure you bring your own bedding, medications, and any personal comfort items you may need there. And in Mobile County, there are a number of cold weather shelters opening as well. They're on your screen right now, and they include the Waterfront Rescue Mission on North Washington Avenue, McKemmy Place, which is open to women only. Then for the men, there's the Salvation Army on Dauphin Street. And the Dearborn YMCA on North Warren Street is open to families and single women. We're told operations at all of these shelters will continue through Wednesday, January 21st. Anyone in Mobile County that needs assistance can call 211 or go to the Waterfront Rescue Mission's website for more information. And over in Santa Rosa County, Florida, a cold weather shelter opening for the homeless and or heatless will be open tomorrow and Sunday. This one is located at the Ferris Hill Baptist Church on Chaffin Street in Milton, and those who want to stay there must arrive between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. as no one will be admitted after that time unless brought in by law enforcement. The shelter closes at 7 each morning. Well, meanwhile, protests erupting again overnight in Minneapolis against ramped up federal immigration enforcement as a newly released Minneapolis Fire Department incident report on the deadly shooting of Renee Good, who was shot and killed by an ICE officer just last week, says first responders found the 37-year-old unresponsive with multiple gunshot wounds in her upper body. Trump administration officials accuse Good of domestic terrorism. State and local officials, family and friends, though, dispute those claims.
This individual used a deadly weapon against our ICE law enforcement officer.
She is a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister. She is many things to many people, not what the government labeled her as.
As tensions flare, President Trump is warning he may invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy U.S. troops to Minnesota as videos emerge appearing to show federal agents asking individuals to prove their citizenship. Lawmakers are slamming the tactics and calling for ICE agents to leave the state. Well, listen to this. A dashboard camera captures a man rescuing two toddlers from a busy street. John Brittingham was driving on the A1A in Cocoa Beach, Florida Sunday when he saw two toddlers wandering in the road. That video on your screen there. Brittingham pulled over, put his arm up to warn vehicles, ran to the toddlers, picked them up, and carried them safely away from the road. At first, Brittingham had no idea where the children's family was, but at the first house he went to, found the family who had no idea the children had been gone. The toddlers were able to get out through an open gate at the back of the house. So thankful everyone was okay there. Just a crazy, crazy video. Another video here, newly released video rather, shows a rollover crash involving an NFL player. This video, released by the police department in Covington, Kentucky, shows a Jeep speeding through an intersection, hitting a parked vehicle, rolling and coming to a rest upside down. The crash happened November 15th at 3:21 in the morning. Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Cam Taylor-Britt was a passenger in the Jeep. It's not the first traffic incident involving him, though. He was cited for reckless driving in July and ticketed for street racing in September, with both incidents happening in Cincinnati. On January 6th, a judge sentenced Taylor-Britt to 5 days in jail for reckless driving and driving without a license. That concludes some of our bigger national stories of the day. Let's turn now to our local news. Here's a big headline our Brendan Kirby is following for Fox 10 News at 5.
Ashton, we're here at the Pritchard Waterworks and Sewer Board getting reaction to the news from yesterday that 3 defendants in a corruption case involving this utility are going to plead guilty in federal court. All of this fraud and abuse that's been alleged really comes down to the folks who pay the bills, and that's the customers here in Pritchard and Chickasaw who get their water from this system, and they've suffered through service breaks and high bills and a lot of other problems over the years. And some of them say that they think that this fraud case is directly related to some of the problems that they felt. We're going to have more on that coming up at Fox 10 News at 5.
All right, looking forward to seeing that story and many others at 5. Jason, let's take a look at some pictures and videos.
Let's do it. You know, we've had some real pretty skies across the area this week.
We have, and I'm sure we'll see some here.
Let's check it out.
All right, this first one from Tracy Dart. Snowbird. We know the species of this bird today. We didn't know the one the other day. Right, and that is a male cardinal. The females are a little darker in color, so it's bright red, and I don't know if we'll see any scenes like this across our area, but maybe a few flakes Sunday morning. Yeah, so thank you, Tracy, for submitting this one. Do we know where this one is from? Yeah. I don't believe so, but we'll take it. We love a nice picture. This next one from Amanda Wilbanks. A beautiful sunset view at the end of a workday. This one right here is Mobile, Alabama. That's right. You're looking out, and it looks like they might be looking back towards the west, but you still have some real pretty colors in the sky there. Yeah, gorgeous picture. Thank you, Amanda, for sending that one over. A great way to wrap up the workday for sure. Another sunset, this one from one of our loyal submitters here, Kathy Kathy Kelly. This is Arizona, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. And you can see real bright colors in the sky there. And they have a lot of fair weather, so they get some pretty sunsets out that way.
Yeah. And you were out in Arizona that way recently, right?
Right. I went out to the Grand Canyon, Sedona, and some of those areas outside of Phoenix on the north side. Really, really pretty, actually.
Beautiful.
There's more moisture there the higher you get in altitude.
Sure. I'm sure got some cold weather there.
Yeah, they get cold up around the Grand Canyon for sure.
I bet they do. This next one from Greg Callahan, a morning sunrise from Dog River Bridge. Oh, love this view here.
Oh yeah, that's a great shot there. That's looking towards the rising sun, looking towards the east and out through the mouth of Dog River and out into Mobile Bay right underneath that big bridge.
Yeah, pretty sure my husband might have seen this the other day fishing in that area. Yeah. So he sent me some really great pictures as well. Always a beautiful place to fish this time of year too.
It is a good spot for some speckled trout and sometimes of the year for flounder.
There you go. Well, listen, that concludes a few pictures for today's Your Story segment. Again, we want to see those. Be sure to submit them online at fox10tv.com. They can do it on the app as well, right?
Yeah, through the Fox 10 weather app, you can actually scroll down and there's an easy way to submit your pictures and you can just pull them right off your phone so you don't have to like copy them, email them, or attach them or anything.
All right, it's as easy as that. We look forward to seeing those. Happy Friday. It's 3:10 now. We'll see you back for more Fox 10 Live after this.
Yeah, streaming directly to you. Stay connected. Stay safe with Fox 10 Storm Tracker.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Live.
Welcome back into Fox 10 Live on your Friday. Some very old pottery may reveal something new about the history of human thought. Take a look at these flowers painted on 8,000-year-old bowls. Archaeologists note they show flowers with 4, 8, 16, 32, or 64 petals. That indicates the people who painted them were thinking in mathematical terms. The pottery is from a time hundreds of years before ancient texts that prove people were already using math. Scientists think this comes from a more rudimentary math, like what would be used to share harvests or allocate fields. The pottery is from the Halafian people who lived in northern Mesopotamia between 6200 and 5500 BC. So a pretty interesting study there. Listen to this one. Leonardo da Vinci's mysterious DNA might in fact be in his art. Researchers say they've been searching for it in his letters and a drawing. They say they found a matching sequence of Y chromosomes from a male. That doesn't mean, though, it belongs to the great artist and scientist, but they say it's a place to start. Da Vinci's DNA is hard to pin down because he never had children, and his gravesite was later destroyed. The study, though, has not yet been peer-reviewed. Well, the key to living longer could be just a slight change in your daily physical activity. As new research says, adding just 5 minutes of exercise and 30 minutes less sitting each day could actually help millions live longer. The study, led by the Norwegian School of Sport Sciences, examined 135,000 people, all from the U.S., UK, Norway, and Sweden. It found that moderate daily activities like a brisk walk, housework, or gardening for an extra 5 minutes a day was associated with a 10% reduction in deaths. Findings also showed reducing sedentary time by half an hour a day was associated with an estimated 7% reduction in all deaths. Those findings were published in the journal The Lancet.
All right, here's our weather headlines as we get started here, and we're going to see some showers on Saturday, both in the morning and in the afternoon. It starts to get a little colder Saturday night, and there may be an opportunity where some of this cold rain may mix with a little bit of light snow briefly. A lot of it's going to be in the middle of the night or in the early morning hours, and if we see any accumulation at all, it would be extremely minor, and there won't be any travel problems. It's not going to be like a big deal or anything like that, but we could see a few flakes in the forecast area, especially across the Florida Panhandle. Here's a look at it. First of all, tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, we've got a little band of light rain in the area, and if you don't see it, you may have some wet spots outside from having had this pass through in the early morning hours. What about the wintry weather possibilities? Well, as we get into early Sunday morning, we'll start out with the European model, and this is one of these deals where there's only a brief window where the moisture and the cold air everywhere are actually combining on the same page, but it is showing right around 8 a.m., between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., we might see a little brief period with some snowflakes mixing with the rain. The air temperature is actually cold enough aloft for this to come down as flakes, even if the ground temperature is above freezing. If the ground temperature is above freezing, it's not going to stick. And the Euro is suggesting this is going to come together over the Florida Panhandle, southeast Alabama, and southern Georgia in a much bigger way than what would happen in our area. So we'll watch this. And let's check another opinion, shall we? We'll look at the GFS model, which we've been watching as well. And it is not as aggressive with any wintry precipitation, but it does show a little bit. Tomorrow evening, a little bit of cold rain around, maybe some flakes starting to mix in eastern Conecuh County or eastern Escambia County at midnight. And then into the early morning hours of Sunday, it's showing most of the mix from Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties eastward across the Panhandle, and it shows nothing in Mobile. So you get the idea. There's some models are saying maybe and some models saying no. Most likely it will be a very minor issue for us if we see any flakes at all, but it's always interesting to see because it's not something that happens here very often. It's just too hard to get the moisture and the temperatures on the same page in this part of the world. 61 degrees in downtown Mobile with a light south-southeast breeze. And here is where we're going. So tomorrow, 56. A lot of mild temperatures tomorrow afternoon. Ground temperature is going to be way above freezing. We may not even make it down to freezing Saturday night in Mobile and into early Sunday morning. Perhaps a few flakes mixed in. Sunday, partly cloudy and a high right below 50. A chilly day there. MLK Monday, a cold start and 58. Another blast of cold air, a third front comes in on Tuesday, and that means a morning temperature in the 20s and an afternoon temperature at 52. Looking ahead, our rain chances at about 30% Thursday and 20% on Friday. Could see some spotty rain late next week. That's our 7-day forecast.
All right, Jason, thanks for the update there. Are you just getting your W-2s or 1099s? Maybe wondering how much you're going to get back, if anything? Well, there are some big changes to your taxes this year. Brian Abel reports from Washington on what you need to know before you file.
Filing your taxes.
It's very confusing.
And even more so this tax season. Why? The passage of President Trump's signature law, the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, that's ushered in a handful of tax changes. Let's highlight the big ones, starting with higher standardized deductions. For singles, it was $15,000.
For 2025, it goes up to $15,750.
SALT stands for state and local taxes, and it was a key sticking point during negotiations of the bill. There's a cap on how much in SALT one can pay depending on adjusted gross income.
For the old law, it was a $10,000 cap. Now you can get anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 in 2025.
But John Karp from accounting firm Whitley Penn says, don't forget how the standardized deductions factor in.
Remember, you got to first crest that hurdle of the standard deduction of $31,500 if you're married filing joint. So if you never can get to your itemized deductions, the state and local taxes don't matter anyway because it's an itemized deduction.
Another change is for all of the servers out there.
That's no tax on tips.
With some caveats.
No tax on tips is capped at $25,000 per return. So if you have a married filing joint couple, they only get $25,000. It's not $25,000 per person.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
All right, some good advice there. Maybe a good weekend to get some of those taxes done, as we know it's going to be chilly. But let's go ahead and take a live look outside into downtown Mobile. A pretty mild day this afternoon right now. We'll have another look at your weather forecast and more when we return right here on Fox 10 Live.
On the next Investigate TV Plus, sudden cardiac arrest can happen to anyone at any age, and the right response could be the difference between life and death.
When someone goes down, a lot of people think it's a seizure, or they think the person passed out or something, not knowing that potentially the heart has stopped and oxygen is not getting to the brain.
We take an in-depth look at why having a cardiac emergency response plan is critical and how one state's mandate played a role in a teen's survival.
Call Long and Long, 251-445-6000.
Welcome back. Esports is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but selling it to the masses has been pretty tough until now. Fox's Iman Dignam has more in this week's edition of our Fox on Game series.
Delivering esports to the masses has been a challenge, unless you watch on YouTube or Twitch. But Team Liquid is expanding past those platforms with a partnership with high-end production company Mirage Digital to bring their content to free ad-supported streaming TV channels, sometimes called fast channels.
I would say the expansion of the audience in general, what we're really being able to capture on this fast channel is a completely different audience.
Their first event on the fast channel takes place in World of Warcraft. It's called Race to the World First, where players group together and race to be the first to beat a series of difficult bosses and tasks. It was a major hit on the platform.
The content just speaks for itself, and we've been able to go in and be able to create just completely different content that's ever been seen before, utilizing this library.
And the feedback they're getting is overwhelmingly positive so far.
Like, it's definitely showing that there is an audience for this, again, outside of the normal expected platforms.
People are always replying, commenting, wow, this is awesome. Didn't know we could watch it here for free as well. And that's something that's super engaging for people that aren't necessarily always on YouTube or always on Twitch.
And they're not done yet. They're reaching out to other streaming platforms, so keep an eye out on your TV service for the Team Liquid channel. Team Liquid continues to host the Race to the World First event on their Fast channel. They say to keep looking for other high-profile events to run live. You can check out the full interview on the Fox on Games podcast wherever you download podcasts. In New York, Iman Dignam, Fox News.
Yeah, esports is its own world for sure. I know a lot of people who have made that a career as well, so pretty neat there. Listen, it's 3:27 on your Friday. Thank you so much for watching Fox 10 Live. We'll see you on Fox 10 News at 4, leaving you with a live look outside at the beach. Happy Friday.